All right, everybody, Sunday, February 15th, and we are right in the middle of an active and dangerous severe weather event that has expanded overnight and is not done yet. The severe threat that hammered southeast Texas and Louisiana last night has now shifted east, and today the bullseye is sitting squarely over northern Florida, the Florida Panhandle, and southern Alabama and Georgia. The Storm Prediction Center has upgraded tomorrow to a slight risk with a legitimate tornado threat, including the potential for strong tornadoes. On top of that, a separate storm system hitting California on Monday is carrying its own tornado risk for the Los Angeles basin. And while all of this severe weather is unfolding across the South, the models are still arguing about whether the Northeast gets a quick-hitting snowstorm tonight into Monday. Then behind everything, the massive western storm that is going to bury the mountains in feet of snow is loading up and ready to fire starting early this week. There is a lot happening simultaneously, so let me walk through each piece. By the way, if you'd like specific weather forecasts for your region or city, please leave them in the comments. I'll answer them individually as time allows. Also, if you like the video and subscribe to my channel, you'd be very grateful. Now, let's move on. Let me start with what happened overnight because it was a rough night across the Gulf Coast. The storms that fired across southeast Texas yesterday evening delivered exactly what we were worried about. The Houston metro area saw supercell activity with strong winds, heavy rain, and the tornado threat materialized across portions of southeast Texas into Louisiana. Large hail cores were observed near Natchez, Mississippi, with damaging winds sweeping from Interstate 20 south to Interstate 10. The linear squall line pushed through Louisiana overnight with hail, damaging winds of 40 to 60 miles per hour and quick spin-up tornadoes along the leading edge. New Orleans, Baton Rouge, and the Louisiana coast all dealt with strong storms through the overnight hours. Shreveport saw damaging winds. Arkansas and western Tennessee caught the northern portion of the storm complex, which was mainly a heavy rain and flooding event with training thunderstorms dumping significant rainfall over the same areas. Now the threat has shifted east, and here is what cities need to be watching today and tonight. The severe weather is concentrated along the southern tier. The Florida Panhandle from Pensacola through Panama City to Tallahassee is the primary danger zone this morning into this afternoon. A cluster of storms is strengthening across southern Alabama and pushing into the Panhandle where supercell development is possible ahead of the main squall line. This is where the tornado threat is highest today. The SPC has highlighted the potential for a couple of tornadoes, including the possibility of a strong tornado, meaning EF2 or higher. Damaging wind gusts of 40 to 50 miles per hour accompany the squall line as it pushes through. Panama City, Destin, Fort Walton Beach, and Pensacola all need to be on high alert through the afternoon. As we push into Sunday evening, the threat extends further into Florida. Jacksonville catches storms this afternoon into evening. Gainesville and Ocala see the squall line by evening. Tampa could see storms by late tonight. Orlando picks up activity tonight into early Monday. The further south into Florida the storms travel, a new concern develops. Waterspouts coming onshore along the Gulf Coast could produce brief tornado touchdowns, so coastal communities from the Big Bend region south through the Tampa Bay area need to stay aware. Meanwhile, further north, the storm system is producing a massive shield of heavy rainfall, but without the severe component. Birmingham and Montgomery see heavy rain and gusty storms today. Atlanta gets steady rain through the afternoon. Nashville and Knoxville see rain continuing today. Memphis is wrapping up the heavy rain from overnight. Charlotte and Raleigh are getting soaked today with regular thunderstorms and heavy rain. The Carolinas, Virginia, and West Virginia see 1 to 2 inches of additional rainfall through today into tonight. None of this is severe, but the volume of rain could cause localized flooding in areas that have already picked up several inches. Now the Northeast snow question, because the models are still fighting about this even as the storm is right on our doorstep. As the low pressure pushes offshore tonight into Monday, a shortwave trough interacting with colder air aloft is trying to squeeze out some snow across the mid-Atlantic and interior Northeast. The European model shows a modest event, maybe 1 to 3 inches for Pennsylvania through New Jersey, and portions of Long Island as the system brushes by. The GFS, as it tends to do, is showing a much stronger solution with the low strengthening closer to the coast and producing heavier banding that could deliver 6 inches or more to a small area. However, and this is the key point, The GFS is not trending with the other guidance. The national blend of models agrees with the European that the storm strengthens too far offshore to pull significant precipitation back into the cold air. Here is my honest assessment for the Northeast cities. Philadelphia sees rain transitioning to a possible brief period of wet snow tonight into Monday morning, maybe a coating to 2 inches at most and possibly nothing sticking. New York City is in a similar boat with rain likely changing over to a brief burst of wet snow, a coating to 2 inches possible, but the higher-end GFS scenario of 6+ inches is very unlikely. Northern New Jersey could see 1 to 3 inches. Long Island picks up 1 to 2 inches if the changeover happens in time. The real snow stays further north and inland. Scranton and the Poconos could see 3 to 5 inches. Albany picks up 2 to 4 inches. Upstate New York into the Adirondacks sees 3 to 6 inches. Vermont, New Hampshire, and Maine have the best shot at a meaningful 4 to 6 inch event. Boston likely gets a mix of rain and snow with an inch or two of slushy accumulation. Hartford and Providence see 1 to 3 inches. Washington, D.C. and Baltimore get rain with maybe a few flakes mixing in at the tail end, but no accumulation. This is not the major snowstorm some were hoping for. The cold air is simply not deep enough or in place early enough to support a high-impact winter event for the major I-95 cities. Now Monday brings an entirely different severe weather threat, and this one is in an unusual location. A potent storm system arriving along the California coast is carrying enough dynamics to produce thunderstorms across Southern California, and the National Weather Service has flagged the potential for damaging wind gusts and tornadoes in the Los Angeles basin and along the coast south of Vandenberg Air Force Base. California tornadoes are rare, but they do happen with these types of systems, and the setup Monday supports isolated spin-ups. Los Angeles, Ventura, Santa Barbara, Oxnard, and Long Beach all need to be aware. San Diego sees heavy rain. Sacramento gets rain with the Sierra picking up heavy snow above 5,000 feet. San Francisco and the Bay Area see gusty rain. This California storm is actually the opening act for the massive western pattern change that dominates the rest of the week and beyond. Starting Monday and intensifying through Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday, the deep trough digs in along the west coast and locks in for an extended siege. Multiple rounds of Pacific moisture slam into the western mountains, producing what is shaping up to be a historic snowfall event for the Sierra Nevada and Cascades. We are talking feet of accumulation above 5,000 feet, with snow levels crashing to as low as 2,000 feet at times in Northern California. The Rockies from Colorado through Wyoming, Idaho, and Montana pile on heavy snow as well. Salt Lake City sees valley snow, with the Wasatch getting buried. Denver picks up periodic snow showers. Portland and Seattle face extended rain with heavy cascade snow. Reno deals with a rain-snow mix in the valley, with the nearby Sierra seeing staggering totals. Travel over Donner Pass and Echo Summit could be shut down for extended periods. This western storm cycle runs continuously through at least the 20th and possibly beyond. The snowpack deficit across the west, currently running below 50% of normal in many areas, is going to take a massive hit from this pattern. 5 to 10 feet of snow is on the table for the highest Sierra and Cascade elevations over the next 7 to 10 days. Southern California faces repeated rounds of heavy rain with flooding concerns, particularly in burn-scar areas. For the temperature picture, the central and eastern states continue riding the fall spring through midweek. Dallas stays in the 70s. Houston flirts with 80. Chicago pushes into the mid-50s. Minneapolis approaches 50. Kansas City and St. Louis reach the 60s. By around the 20th, the warmth surges into the east with the mid-Atlantic and southeast potentially seeing 60s and 70s. Then a cold shot arrives around the 25th, finally breaking the warm pattern before temperatures attempt to rebound again at the very end of February. So here is your bottom line. Today, the severe weather threat sits over the Florida Panhandle and northern Florida, with tornadoes possible, including the potential for strong tornadoes that could reach EF2 intensity. Pensacola, Panama City, Destin, and Tallahassee are in the highest risk zone this morning and afternoon. As storms push further into the Florida peninsula tonight, Jacksonville, Gainesville, Tampa, and Orlando need to be alert for damaging winds and waterspout-driven tornadoes coming onshore along the Gulf Coast. The heavy rain event from the Carolinas through Georgia and Alabama is not severe but could produce localized flooding. The Northeast gets a quick-hitting snow event tonight into Monday that is most likely modest for the big cities. Philadelphia and New York City probably see a coating to 2 inches at best. The real snow stays interior with 3 to 6 inches for upstate New York and northern New England. Monday brings a rare California tornado threat as a potent storm moves through the LA basin, with the NWS flagging damaging winds and possible tornadoes for Los Angeles, Ventura, and Santa Barbara counties. That California storm kicks off the historic western siege that runs through the week with multiple feet of Sierra and Cascade snow, heavy California rain, and dangerous travel conditions. False spring warmth continues for the central and eastern states with temperatures 20 to 30 degrees above normal through the 20th before a cold shot arrives around the 25th. The back half of February is setting up to be one of the most eventful stretches of the entire winter, with severe weather, mountain blizzards, and temperature swings all happening simultaneously. Stay alert today, especially in Florida and along the Gulf Coast. I will be right here with updates as the pattern evolves. Stay safe, and we will talk again very soon.